"Welcome, the chosen ones. They attempted to bury us, but they didn't realize we were seeds." Here's the twist. Not every seed grows silently. Some erupt like volcanoes, destroying the earth under them. This is the narrative of the chosen ones. Natural forces masquerading as underdogs. They weren't just doubted, they were insulted, deceived, and dismissed by the same individuals. Now they're rushing to figure out how their demise transformed into the comeback of the century. According to studies, individuals are more driven to prove others incorrect than to achieve their own objectives. However, for selected ones, it is never just about vengeance. It involves rewriting the whole script. And in this new scenario, their adversaries aren't evil. They are merely extras, fumbling in the background while the selected ones rise. Here's the kicker. Everyone who believed they could witness their own destruction as a spectator sport has lost their chance. Now they're sweating in the hot soup they made, while the selected one serves the main dish: success. Served cold with poetic justice. First, consider the hate paradox. Fuel for the flames. The picked ones resemble flames. Hatred is the fuel that keeps them blazing brighter. Every insult, mistrust, every contempt, they absorb, refine, and turn it to raw power. Most individuals break under the weight of negativity, while the selected ones flourish in it. It's not because they like being targeted, it's because they realize a deep reality. Hatred is an indicator of importance. You do not hurl pebbles at anything that is insignificant. The more vocal the resistance, the stronger the indication that they're on to something special. What their adversaries fail to see is that their rage works against them. The selected ones are unaffected by criticism. They are energized by it. Each harsh phrase becomes a challenge, a daring to go higher. Every effort of sabotage backfires spectacularly because the selected ones are masters at turning adversity into weaponry. The skeptics believe they are breaking them, but they are really creating them. Here's the true irony. Enemies use all of their energy attempting to bring the chosen ones down, only to make them stronger. It's like dumping gasoline on a fire, hoping it goes out. They don't just underestimate the selected ones, they completely misinterpret them. They develop an uncontrollable force as they detest more. It's almost poetic, really. The selected ones rising is about more than simply winning. It's about witnessing their opponents damage themselves in the process. Every failure, setback, and insult becomes part of a compelling tale that cannot be ignored. The selected ones do not just withstand the hostility, they transform it into a legacy, leaving their adversaries with only sorrow and a front row ticket to their triumph. Number 2, unpredictability. The selective ones walk silently. The picked are masters of physics precision. They don't take the apparent road and surely don't play by anybody else's rules. Their every action is deliberate, yet never predictable, making those who mistrust them struggle to keep up. Enemies anticipate them to fight in public, create noise, and reveal their intentions. But this is never how the selected ones work. They flourish in quiet, moving with accuracy while others spend time figuring out their next move. It is too late for anybody to grasp what is going on. It isn't simply about keeping their plans secret. It involves completely rewriting the game. The selected ones don't just think beyond the box. They burn the box and construct a new one. While their rivals are busy conspiring against them, they are already 3 steps ahead, totally turning the tables so that no one knows until they have won. Its unpredictability does more than merely confound its foes. It scares them. It's unnerving to confront someone who doesn't respond as expected, who does not play to your strengths, and who keeps you wondering. That type of authority is unsettling because it implies that the selected ones will never be under the control of the opposition. Unpredictability is not only a tactic, it is a weapon. It renders them impenetrable, undetectable, and unstoppable. People who wish for their collapse find up, sliding into their own traps, fighting imaginary fights, and when the chosen one strikes, it's quick, decisive, and deadly by the time their opponents know they've been outmatched. The game isn't quite over. It has been completely rewritten, with the chosen one standing triumphant in the middle. Number 3, the weight of being misunderstood. The selected ones are never really understood until it is too late. In their early stages, they are disregarded, undervalued, and characterized as too distinctive or insufficient. People struggle to see their potential because it does not fit neatly into the confines that society has created. They're dubbed dreamers, troublemakers, or worse. It's simpler to insult them than to admit that they operate on a level beyond most people's comprehension. But here's the issue with selected ones. Their magnificence is always ahead of its time. The same individuals who mock them will subsequently say they saw it coming, or I had always believed in them. It's funny how fast individuals alter their own narrative to match with achievement. The selected ones do not want confirmation, but they recognize the hypocrisy as a sign that their emergence has compelled the world to pay notice. Being misunderstood is more than simply a phase for them. It is a crucible. Isolation, cynicism, and the lack of support ignite the flames that fuel their tenacity. They learn to move silently and to believe in their own vision, even when no one else does. And when their time comes, the change is unmistakable. Suddenly, the attributes that have been condemned, such as aggressiveness, ambition, and originality, have become the reasons why everyone admires them. This transformation's potency stems from its ability to reveal the truth about individuals. It's not like the selected ones changed. The world has finally caught up. Anyone who questioned them was out of luck at that point. The selected ones are no longer concerned in proving themselves. They're too busy prospering. Their adversaries are forced to cope with the consequences of their own ignorance, seeing brilliance emerge where they previously saw failure. Number 4 is adversity, a heavenly necessity. Adversity is not just a part of the chosen one's path. It's the basis of it. Every adversity, loss, and grief is designed to build the strength they'll need to accomplish their destiny. While most individuals see problems as obstacles, the selected ones understand better. They understand that their pain is not futile. It's time to prepare. Life is chipping away at their flaws. They are gradually honing their talents and increasing their resistance. Outsiders may see tragedy as a negative outcome, but it is really a heavenly process. The selected ones are subjected to tests that would crush ordinary people, since their objective requires tremendous strength. You do not heat steel with feathers. You need fire and pressure. Similarly, the selected ones undergo terrible and merciless storms. However, they emerge unscathed. It's not simply about weathering adversity. It is about change. Each difficulty drives them to adapt, think differently, and uncover answers that others might miss. Adversity teaches kids patience, fortitude, and how to flourish under duress, qualities that no amount of comfort could possibly provide. The beauty of this method is that it is undetectable to everyone else. While the selected ones are in the trenches, the world sees only strife and not progress. However, when their time arrives, the metamorphosis is unmistakable. The challenges that were supposed to destroy them became testimony of their strength. The reason they are prepared to overcome misfortune does not deter selected ones. It constructs them. It molds their character, challenges their dedication, and prepares them for the greatness that lies ahead. By the time they rise, their might is not just visible, but irresistible. Their pain was never considered a setback. It was a necessity for their victory. Number 5, the psychological impact on their adversaries. The rising of the chosen ones accomplishes more than just overcome their foes. It destroys their psychological well-being. It is one thing to lose. This is another one to keep an eye on. Someone you questioned, insulted, or deliberately sought to ruin achieves success beyond your wildest dreams. That kind of understanding doesn't only sting, it haunts the adversaries of the chosen ones. The actual punishment is not outward, but rather within. They are forced to face the harsh reality that every insult they hurled, every plan they devised, and every ounce of energy they used attempting to bring down the chosen ones was futile. Worse, they recognized they contributed to the same increase they were trying to avert. The irony is excruciating, and it consumes them as the chosen ones who send their foes begin to disintegrate. They worry over how they ignored or underestimated the warning indications. They relive their own deeds, attempting to figure out why their plans failed so horribly. What was supposed to be a success for them becomes a psychological minefield of remorse and self-doubt. The cruelest twist is that the selected ones are no longer paying attention while their adversaries are obsessed by bitterness and self-pity. The selected ones have gone on to greater and better things. This apathy strikes harder than any retaliation because it affirms the fact that their adversaries dread the most. They were never significant. Watching the selected ones ascend does more than simply ache. It pushes their opponents to face their own mediocrity, plots, hatred, and attempts. They all came to naught. And the realization does not disappear. It lingers, a continual reminder of their own inability to prevent what was always unavoidable. Number 6, unshakable genuineness. A menace to the globe. The selected ones live in a manner that shakes the very basis of what people are taught to believe. They refuse to follow the rules. They are a menace simply because of the society they are part of. Most individuals bend, twist, and alter themselves to fit into a culture concerned with acceptance and affirmation, while the selected ones stand tall, unabashedly genuine. Their reluctance to comply does not merely astound others, it scares them. Authenticity is uncommon because it is dangerous. It is easy to follow the herd and replicate what is trendy, to avoid rocking the boat. However, the selected ones do not worry about ease. They live life on their own terms, choosing decisions that reflect their truth, even if it makes others uncomfortable. And it does. Watching someone live so openly and bravely compels individuals to examine their own compromises. It's like holding up a mirror. Many people have difficulty dealing with the reflection. This sincerity is more than simply a quirk. It is a superpower. It imbues the choice with unmistakable vigor, a magnetic force that both attracts and unnerves individuals. They demolish the hidden conventions that hold society in check, demonstrating that you don't need permission to achieve or approval to be valuable. Their presence disrupts everything, from corporate hierarchy to societal conventions, making them hard to ignore. The world's uneasiness with the selected ones stems from dread. They remind people of the possibilities when you stop pretending, complying, and begin living with purpose. But, ironically, this dread motivates the selected ones even more. They are not just genuine for themselves, they are redefining the rules for everyone else, whether the world is prepared for it or not. The seventh enemy turns fan, then vanishes into darkness. One of the most ironic turns in the Chosen One's path is how their detractors, who were previously unrelenting in their attempts to destroy them, frequently become fans. These are the same folks that questioned, criticized, and mocked them at every opportunity. However, when confronted with the evident brilliance of the Selected One's accomplishment, their hatred transforms into grudging respect. It's not authentic, however. It stems from the understanding that their attempts to stop them were so ineffective that the only way to cope was to swap sides. But here's the kicker. It won't matter once these opponents convert into supporters. The Selected Ones have climbed far above the fray. That confirmation, even in the shape of renewed commitment, is useless. They've outgrown the need for attention or acceptance from people who formerly tried to bring them down. What was once a competition for respect has become unimportant since the Chosen Ones have moved on to a world free of such trivial worries. This move is more than simply poetic justice. It is an act of erasing. The enemies, now admirers, understand they no longer have any influence, role, or power in the Chosen One's tale. Their efforts to unite with greatness are meaningless, since the Selected Ones no longer recognize their existence. They've slipped into obscurity, watching while the Selected Ones rise. The true hurt is not being vanquished, it is being forgotten. And such is the final destiny for the Chosen One's foes. Their newfound adoration is too little, too late, and serves only to highlight their own insignificance. The Selected Ones do not look back, and those who previously battled so hard to bring them down are left in the dust, forgotten and insignificant. Number 8. Mastering the art of controlled chaos. The Selected Ones aren't frightened of upheaval. They are chaotic. However, in its most premeditated and determined form, some panic at the first sight of disarray. The Selective Ones accept it and use its unpredictability as a weapon. They understand that turmoil agitates their adversaries, making them reactive and careless. For the Selected, however, chaos is not random. It is a tool, and they use it with surgical precision. Every action they make seems to be spontaneous, but it is really part of a broader scheme. They disrupt plans, deconstruct expectations, and destabilize systems, knowing that their adversaries would be unable to operate in the uncertainty they create. It's not just about devastation, it's about controlling the story. When things get chaotic, the Selected Ones flourish because they have already adapted to survive and prosper in the storm. This mastery of controlled chaos renders them impenetrable, whereas foes who depend on structure and predictability are entirely out of their element. They strive to regroup and counterattack. However, by then the Selected Ones had already gone on to their next move. It's a chess game in which the Selected Ones do more than simply play. They also flip the board when it suits them. However, their anarchy is not irresponsible. It's deliberate. Every disruptive act is meticulously organized to provide possibilities for progress and triumph. They don't just withstand turmoil. They use it to their advantage, making the world bend to their will. What frightens their opponents the most is that the Selected Ones are always at ease, while others are vulnerable. In the midst of chaos, while everyone else is struggling to make sense of things, the Selected Ones remain calm, focused, and already winning. Chaos does not have power over them. They own it and utilize it to create their route to greatness. Number 9. their quiet is deafening. When the selected ones cease explaining themselves, something changes in the air. It is not just a departure from the debate. It is an assertion of authority. Their silence becomes a powerful weapon that leaves everyone around them searching for meaning. They no longer feel compelled to defend their every decision or respond to criticism. The more they keep mute, the more their adversaries are forced to face their own ignorance and insecurity. In a society concerned with affirmation and commotion, the selected ones find stillness to be both unusual and terrifying. It's their way of saying they don't. Oh, anybody have an explanation for their greatness? They've transcended the desire for approval, and as a result, they've become impenetrable foes. Those who formerly sought to agitate them with questions or comments are greeted with a serene, unbroken silence, sending a message that's even stronger than words. I am beyond your grasp. This silence makes their foes doubt everything. Why don't the selected ones react? Is there anything they're hiding? What are their plans? The longer the stillness lasts, the more perplexed and concerned their opponents get. They're unsure about their next step. Meanwhile, the selected ones are secretly carrying out their plan, making power plays that go unseen until they are too far ahead to be caught. Silence is not passive, it is deliberate. It's a method of dominating the narrative without ever raising a finger, while their adversaries flounder in uncertainty. The selected ones continue to advance. Their deeds speak louder than words. Finally, their silence is more than simply a protection. It's the loudest and most emphatic statement they can make. Number 10 is a cosmic rebuke. Divine justice is harsh on the adversaries of the chosen ones. Failure is more than simply a setback. It is a cosmic reprimand. What seems to be a simple setback is in fact cosmic devastation, a reckoning with far-reaching consequences. The selected one's ascension is about more than simply achievement. It is about delivering a violent type of divine justice that demolishes all their adversaries have constructed. The universe doesn't just let them win. It assures that their success completely erases the opposition's hubris, planning, and malice. When the selected ones advance, it's more than simply their own might at work. It's the unavoidable result of all their opponents tried to get in their way. Their adversaries are not simply left behind, they are dismantled. Every plot to bring the chosen ones down fails. Every slander effort backfires, and every sabotage attempt fails. What began as a deliberate effort to ruin someone has turned into a total unraveling of their adversaries' lives. It's not just about losing, it's about getting everything they've worked for. Everything they made falls apart in the most lyrical manner. Their repute deteriorates, their peace of mind vanishes, and they are left to observe. Powerless while the world continues on without them. It's as if the world is conspiring to administer a harsh justice that no human effort can stop. The ascension of the selected ones represents more than just achievement. It's the universe's way of rectifying the imbalance their adversaries attempted to create. It is the kind of justice that does not need a fight. It appears on its own, and when it does, it is completely unforgiving. The selected ones are not simply triumphant. They are the agents of a cosmic reckoning that renders their adversaries shattered, inconsequential, and completely consumed by the repercussions of their own acts. Number 11, the tireless pursuit of mastery. The selected ones aren't happy with just becoming successful. They are fascinated with grandeur. Success is a given for them. It serves as the basis. But greatness, That is the benchmark they have set for themselves. And it's at such a high level that it's almost unjust to regular folks. They don't simply outwork their competitors. They outthink, outmaneuver, and surpass them in ways that leave their opponents gasping for breath. This tireless quest of expertise distinguishes them from the herd. They refuse to take shortcuts or accept mediocrity. Every difficulty presents a chance to develop their abilities, sharpen their wits, and master their profession, whilst others are content with doing enough to get by. The selected ones are always pushing themselves, exploring the limits of what is possible, and redefining the frontiers of greatness that competition may attempt to match. However, the selected ones do not just operate on a separate level. They formed a whole new league. They make things seem easy since mastering isn't their objective. This is a way of life. They're always a step ahead, continuously growing and perfecting. Their dedication to brilliance is so unshakable that they set a standard so high that no one can imagine competing with them. What others see as hurdles, the selected one sees potential for growth. Where others weary, they find the energy to go even farther, leaving their competition in the dust, not only because they're superior, but because they've set the bar to such a high degree that everyone else is always chasing them, never catching up. Number 12, the ultimate blow. They no longer care. The ultimate blow in the chosen one's path is neither a war won or a triumph declared. It is their transcendence. The ultimate form of triumph does not include subduing their opponents. It's about attaining a level so high that their opponents become irrelevant. They've become so untouchable, so far above the pettiness of those who previously questioned them, that the concept of resistance becomes irrelevant when the chosen one stops caring. It's not because of arrogance. It is a recognition of their own strength. The never-ending battles, back-and-forth fights, and petty efforts to undermine them are all rendered meaningless. They've advanced to a level where their opponents' views, efforts, and existence no longer register on their radar. The win is not their opponent's loss, but their entire elimination from the equation. What is left for those who previously conspired against them? Nothing. The selected ones have advanced so far beyond the cacophony that skeptics, doubters, and haters have fallen behind, forgotten. Their efforts to bring the selected ones down seem ludicrous in retrospect, as the chosen ones continue to climb, unbothered, fearless, and heartfelt. It isn't about winning anymore. It's about how the selected ones no longer feel the necessity to fight in these fights. Their adversaries have become a footnote in their narrative, insignificant and forgotten. The ultimate win is this: the selected ones don't just succeed, they transcend the concept of conflict. They leave their opponents in the dust, observing from a distance as they continue to fly in a place where no one can reach them. Finally, the selected ones aren't characterized by their conflicts, setbacks, or opponents. They are characterized by their unyielding confidence in their mission and relentless pursuit of excellence. Their quest is not just about conquering hurdles, it is about transcending the fundamental concept of resistance. Every setback they confront is a chance to progress. Every uncertainty fuels their growth. And as they ascend, they leave behind the clamor, detractors, and constraints that formerly held them back. They are adversaries. They are nothing more than remote. Echoes are now irrelevant, forgotten, and devoured by the mediocrity they attempted to impose on the selected ones. The actual strength of the chosen ones resides not in their successes, but in their capacity to continue rising and changing until those who question them are no longer a part of their tale. This is the core of greatness. Not simply proving people wrong, but being so obviously, unabashedly amazing that those who attempted to bring you down are left with nothing. The selected ones don't just win the game, they modify it. In doing so, they pave the way for others to follow in their footsteps, leaving a legacy that extends well beyond the battlefields they fought in. Whoever questioned them has lost the game. The selected ones have already advanced to the next level, leaving everyone else in the dust. If you sensed the force in these words and recognized the fire in the chosen one's path, now is the moment to join the movement. Make the most of this opportunity. Subscribe to the channel, since this is just the beginning. You have seen greatness in the making, and if you want to remain ahead and go on to the next level, you'll want to be a part of what's next. Hit the subscribe button and enable alerts, because the path to becoming unstoppable begins now, and you don't want to miss a single minute. The game has barely just started. And alongside you on this journey, the world is going to see something extraordinary. Stay with us and let us ascend together. God bless you.